Sometimes this is so fun and you discover something new. Here is the House of Commons. It looks like this on the inside. It's one of the Houses of Parliament. And every Wednesday, the Prime Minister has to answer questions in real time. And right now, there is a scandal unraveling in Britain in British politics because Lord Mandelson was friends with Jeffrey and was giving him state secrets. Enter Kemi Badenoch, the first black woman to lead Britain's Conservative Party.
The Prime Minister and his Chief of Staff, Morgan McSweeney, a protege of Peter Mandelson. The Prime Minister chose to inject Mandelson's poison into the heart of his government on the advice of Morgan McSweeney.
And I immediately knew that a star was born. I'm wondering about this woman. She was able to get Parliament to release the files about Mandelson's interview where he was being confirmed for the position to the Intelligence Committee because apparently he admitted to having a relationship with Jeff and they let him in anyway. This is after Jeff pled guilty to all the stuff. Turns out she has a background in media. She grew up a little bit in the US, mostly in Nigeria, has a degree in computer science and law. She grew up in Nigeria, says it was really tough. Being even middle class meant you didn't always have running water or electricity. She worked at McDonald's going to college. So her road to being a conservative was out of practice, seeing government not work and her actually having to work and earn money. She's a pragmatic person and she didn't like how she said there were a lot of these people from North London, usually on the left. They would say how they wanted to help Africa, how Africa needed to do this or that. She said they didn't know what they were talking about and she just knew that wasn't her people. Okay. Turns out she frequently cites the phrase content of their character, not the color of her skin. She rejects CRT. She says that racial politics have re-racialized society. And she says that woke culture asserts a bland stereotype on what a black person should be. Yes, ma'am. All this while Minister of State for Equalities. She said that institutional racism does not exist in the UK and it is already one of the fairest countries in the world. And the irony, the United Nations alleged this about her. She also said that people have been confused, thinking that there are people who can self-identify as a certain gender and access single-sex spaces. She says that especially single-sex spaces can be essential for women to ensure they have privacy and dignity in certain circumstances. She said that the next conservative government, which she leads, will leave the European Convention on Human Rights. Why would they do that? Because that would allow the government to be tougher on immigration, particularly illegal immigration and deportations. It would allow them to prioritize British citizens for social housing and services, and also ensure that protests don't turn into what she calls theaters of intimidation. She's talking about protests like this. And she talks about a new world where perhaps we are returning to a world of the strong and the weak. And in such a world, we, talking about the UK, we must not be weak. Nobody owes us a living. She says that she's an Essex girl, which in UK parlance means, I don't know, you might almost say like basic or kind of trendy. And it kind of works. She's got a lot of followers on Instagram, bringing a totally new person into the Conservative Party in the UK. They like what she's doing. And it looks like Keir Starmer's days might be numbered. People are already starting to throw out the memes. Margaret Thatcher passing the torch. In the UK, the Prime Minister lives at this residence, number 10 Downing Street. Looks like it might have a new owner. Maybe the first black female Prime Minister of Britain. And she's anti-woke. I mean, how badass is that? It's almost like the content of someone's character matters more than the color of their skin. And it would be lame to put people into a stereotype based on the color of their skin. So I will definitely be watching Kemi Badenoch.